Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I will be showing a way to highlight multiple lines of text when you are using React PDF. So firstly, why this video? So currently React PDF has some limitations on highlighting features when the text goes over multiple lines, and I wrote a quick fix or a sort of algorithm for it, which helped one of the principal engineers at a compliance based company, and they are really finding it useful. So I thought to make it available for wider audience so they can also go through this stuff if they are facing such challenges while using React PDF. Now, coming to the main algorithm. So, I'm assuming that the folks who are watching this, they are either curious to understand what's the problem or they are facing this problem. So, we'll address this video will address both the concerns. So, firstly, whenever you have a React PDF, so I'm not going into too much details of the implementation, but majorly focusing on what's the algorithm that is being used. So whenever you load a page on React PDF, you need to use this component, right? And there's a prop on load success. So as soon as page loads, all the images and everything shows up, you try to get the text content of it. That's the first step. And once you have text items, all the like you cleared it out all the spaces and you only focusing on strings and stuff. So once that's done, then will end up something like this, with a text item type having transform, width, height, and couple of other properties. The main focus is on the transform. Transform is of kind of an affine transformation matrix here. So what's happening? Each font that you see on the this text that's over here on this screenshot is having these properties: scale x, then skew y, skew x, scale y, translate x, translate y. That's how whole thing happens, and that's how the definition goes like. So this will essentially help you to define the textual ligature, how the text is being represented on a PDF. So whatever text that you see on PDF, every word has this particular property. This will essentially help you to understand how the scaling of the text and what's the x y position within that page, irrespective of the viewport size, what's the exact position of it. It will help you to get that whole idea. Once you have the exact position of those texts, you will try to actually highlight those texts. That's the next step, right? But here's the catch. You need to find like, let's say you're finding string, that the string that you want to find spans across multiple lines of text, for example this one. So here you can see a bunch of big spaces there, right? So how do you address such challenges? So once you get the text and once you have their positions, what you try to do, you try to just uh, combine them once, okay, in one go, without any spaces, and just concat them, on all in one go. And you try to keep a record of their positions, the previous positions and the new position after combining them, right? So once that's done, you try to figure out, okay, what's the search text and what's the combined text, where I can find that particular substring in a range. So focus on that word range. So this one, item start, as you can see here, item start current position, and item end, that's current position plus the length of the item, okay, that whatever text item that you have received from it. So you search for it, and if there's any overlapping entities, you push it into a results. Results is just a way to track out all the matched string items that you found in the PDF based on your input. Your input is search text, and text items is the all the text items in that particular page. So now once you have this data, obviously the results will contain only the specific text items that have been like having a particular match with your text input. Once that's done, what do you try to get? You create a custom highlight layer. So what does it do? So what's highlighting layer? That's the first question. So there's the PDF. Let's say this is the PDF, and you have an invisible layer on this whole thing. This invisible layer, whenever you hover over it, like whenever you select text, that invisible layer gets selected. It's not the it this selection doesn't actually impact the textual, the one which you saw, the transform over here. Let me just highlight this one, transform. It doesn't impact this thing whenever you select this particular text. Let's say it doesn't impact, it doesn't change the transform affine transformation of that particular word or that particular sentences. It just creates a highlighting layer. Every PDF has a highlighting layer, and that highlighting layer helps you to just select or deselect the text, interact with it. That's how the PDFs actually work. So now you have this highlighting layer, okay, and you try to select that highlighting layer, highlighting areas, and then once you have the particular details of the results, so you have the results, you have the positions of those, and once you have the position and you have the results, you just need to use some CSS magic here. So what's the CSS magic? It's written over here. The CSS magic, same thing. We are taking the transform affine matrix. We get the X and Y position of it. We figure out the full text width and what's the stuff. And once that's done, we try to highlight that particular text in that particular fashion. So what's the very basic input here that's required is you call this calculate highlight style on every word that you have matched out. So this highlight dot text items, this is the matched word, okay, whatever matches that have been found, this is the exact results. So this whole thing is results, and you're just running a map over it, so that you get a particular style string, CSS style string, and then you add it to the particular div or whatever implementation you have. Here we have basic HTML implementation, so we just added it to a div, and which resulted in this kind of yellow color stuff what you see here. So you can change the, that's how you can actually change the background or even the border of the highlight. So if you observe this thing, this is using, let me just zoom in a bit. So if you observe, this highlight is also using a border. So this is how the whole highlighting logic has been reworked, or I won't say the reworked, actually reworked, but more of more of a algorithmic way to figure out what's missing in the React PDF and addressing it. This issue has been closed for a while. I don't know why. Uh, the real author hasn't looked into this issue. Maybe it was not prioritized before, but with this thing, because there were previous issues, people were still looking a solution for this, and I replied in back in October 20, like October 2025, and this helped the current this user, and they have also written their version where they found a pet nuance in the algorithm, that font size and these things are very very nitpicks, because whenever you're dealing with PDFs there can be multiple font size. For example, this one opinion, and this thing. So font size you cannot actually use it directly like this. It needs to be over in this array affine transformation which I just mentioned over here. So affine transformation is the whole uh, data layer or the metadata layer of that particular word. So I guess that makes sense, and I hope you found something new or you learned something new in this whole stuff. I'll share this link in the description, so you read the stuff in detail and understand what's actually being doing, well, because this is something when you try to do it on your own, then only you'll understand what's exactly being done. I just wanted to create this video to create a wider awareness kind of thing, like this is happening in React PDF and how you can address it if you are facing such problem or are curious about those things, what's happening around the GitHub these days, especially in the React PDF. So that's it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something new. Have a great day. Thank you.